Okay. I have been challenged to share my fitness story with you by my upline coaches, Suzanne Beck and Alexandra Street. So that is what I'm here today trying to do. I hope that you can hear me well. I am outside on the deck enjoying this beautiful weather. So you might need to turn your microphone up a little bit. I did run some sound checks and it does seem like I'm doing okay. So to get started, my name is Melissa Klosterman. I just became a Beachbody coach about a month ago, so I'm still learning the ropes and trying to figure out how best to run my business. My fitness story goes back to when I was in high school. Um, I was the teenager who could pretty much eat whatever I want and never have to worry about it. When I was a sophomore, I did track for the first time and absolutely loved it. I hated the running part, so I threw discus and shot put, but I really enjoyed the physical aspect of it. And it also didn't help when people told me that they could tell that I was losing weight just by being more active. So that motivation really helped encourage me to learn more about health and fitness and to become fit. I had a friend who was interested in fitness at the same time, and so over the summers we would do Turbo Jam together in her basement. We would also go for a run. She would force me to go with her, and I'd make myself go, and it turned out great. So fast forward a few years, I'm in college, I met my husband, or my future husband, and gained weight being at college because I kind of ate whatever I wanted, even though I was at a community college, so I was living at home still. My then boyfriend proposed, and so we began planning our wedding, and I decided that I needed to get into better shape. So I started eating right and exercising. I did a Biggest Loser fitness program for the Wii, and I was in the best shape of my life at that time when we got married in 2010. Um, I was at the lowest weight of my adult life, and I felt great. So we got married, went on our honeymoon, came back, and as a new wife, I started cooking meals for my husband, and the weight just packed on. He's 6'7", he's about 150 pounds, and he can eat whatever he wants and never gain a pound. So he was eating macaroni and cheese and hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza, and so as a result, so was I. And as a result of that, within about 6 months of being married, I gained around 20 pounds. I decided enough was enough, and I wasn't happy with that. And so I decided it was time to start exercising again. At that time, some of my friends were doing the Couch to 5K fitness program, and I decided now's as good a time as any, so I jumped on the wagon and I started running as well. At this time, I actually found out that I loved running, and so that was really fun for me. It was a good way for me to burn some calories, burn some stress, and have fun at the same time. I ran about 5 or 6 5Ks, and then I decided to start training for a half marathon. Um, Throughout this whole time, I was still in the mindset of lose weight, gotta lose the weight, gotta be thin, gotta be skinny. Everybody wants to look good for your husband, so that was what my goal was. I joined a couple accountability groups with some friends from church, and now that I look back on it, I wasn't trying to lose weight the healthy way. I was still eating whatever I wanted, just smaller portions of it, and just counting my calories. So I could have my 1,500 calories a day, but it might have been Mountain Dew and pizza and hamburgers and candy bars, whatever sounded good at that time, but it wasn't food that was actually fueling my body. So when I wasn't seeing the results on the scale that I wanted to be seen, I took some different measures. I remember using laxatives at times before the weigh-in so that I could lose that extra pound or two, so that I could say that I lost weight. Some of the weight I did actually lose, but some of it was from those unhealthy measures. Um, so fast forward to the fall of 2012. I was training and I ran my first half marathon, which was a huge accomplishment for me. Because of my training, I was actually eating a lot healthier. I was being careful with what food I was putting into my body so that I was fueling properly for my running. After I ran, I decided to take a month off and let my body kind of get back to normal, take some of that pressure and that stress off. And we were also talking about trying to start a family. So as it happens, I got pregnant in November, and I had told myself that I was going to keep on working out and keep on exercising throughout my whole pregnancy, and that just didn't happen. I was completely exhausted. I had been getting up at 5 o'clock every morning to go to the gym and work out, and that just wasn't happening. I think within my first trimester, I made it to the gym maybe 3 times, but I just didn't have the motivation or the desire or the energy to go, and so I didn't. I also allowed myself to eat pretty much whatever I wanted. I told myself I was eating for two and that was okay, and so that's what I did. And as a result, I gained a total of about 50 pounds when I was pregnant. I had my daughter in July of 2013, and she was a beautiful, healthy, happy baby girl. I had a great pregnancy despite the weight gain. I didn't have any complications, um, and I threw myself full force into being a mom. And that meant, again, fast food and easy meals, prepared frozen meals, because I just didn't have time to cook meals with a newborn who needed all of my attention. Um, so as a result, in January of 2014, my daughter was about 6 months old, and I realized that I still had like at least 25, 27 pounds of baby weight that I still needed to lose. Um, so I decided it was time to kick it in gear and I was going to lose that weight. So I would try and I would do really good for a couple weeks, and then I would fall off the bandwagon again and go back to eating whatever I wanted to eat. And as a result, I realized when my daughter was 9 months old that I still had way too much weight to lose and I needed to do something. Summer was coming, and it was the first time in a long time that I knew that I wouldn't be able to wear a bikini to the pool. And that part didn't really bother me, but it was the fact that knowing that my daughter was almost a year old and I still had so much baby weight to lose. Um, so now, over this course of time, Alex had been talking to me on Facebook, and I had given her just about every excuse. Um, I didn't have time to commit to a program. I didn't really want to. I didn't have the money to. And so she just kind of took that as my answer and left me alone. And then one day I saw a post that she put up for a clean eating challenge that she would provide me with the menu and some Shakeology to try. And I figured, you know what? There's no time like now, so I might as well go for it. And this was in April. And so I did it, and I did great. I didn't cheat. I didn't have any food that I wasn't allowed to have. I did fantastic for those 5 days. And as a result, I lost 5 pounds. Well, that certainly should have been the motivation that I needed to keep on going. But unfortunately, when those 5 days were over and I didn't have my meal plan laid out for me anymore, I went back to the convenience foods. And as a result, I gained back those 5 pounds that I had lost in about a week. It didn't take long. So, I kept on going, and I'd lose a pound here and a pound there, and I figured, you know what? Whatever. I'm a busy mom. It is what it is. That this is just how it's going to be. I'll lose the weight eventually. No big deal. But I didn't realize it was a big deal because the extra weight was taking a toll on my marriage. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. It was taking a toll on me personally. Um, I went to Old Navy. I had some gift certificates to spend, and I went there anticipating buying some new clothes for the summer, and walked into the dressing room with a whole stack of clothes that I was excited to try on, and tried them on, and I absolutely hated how I looked. Everything made me look fat, and my stomach was sticking out, and my legs were too big, and I just didn't like how I looked. And I walked out of the store with absolutely nothing, and I came home and I cried and I told my husband something has to change because I'm not happy with how I look and I'm not happy with how I feel. And I realized that um, I need to be a role model for my daughter. She's going to look up to me and she's going to follow what I do. So if she sees a mom who doesn't love herself, how am I going to teach her to love herself? And that was a really big eye opener for me. So a couple weeks later, Alex posted about another challenge group that she was trying, and it sounded really great. It was for the 21-day fix, and so I sent her an email and I was like, hey, you know what? It's finally time. I'm interested. I finally came to the realization that I needed to spend money because if I spent money on a program, I was going to stick with it. And that was my motivation. Um, so I got the 21-day fix, I got the Shakeology, and I decided that I was going to give it my everything. And I was going to make this program work for me, and I was going to do everything that I could do to get my body back and to get my self-esteem and my life back. Um, and so I did. It's been 21 days now since I started the program. As of this morning, I have lost 6.8 pounds and 4.5 inches from various places on my body. My husband has commented that he likes how I look, that I'm getting back to my normal look. Um, I feel way more confident. The other day, I wore an outfit to work that I haven't worn in probably almost a year and a half because it didn't fit when I was pregnant, and I haven't been comfortable wearing it lately because I felt like my stomach hung out. And I wore it, and I was totally comfortable in what I was wearing. So I'm just really excited, and I haven't made a lot of really drastic changes. I started exercising more than I was. I was exercising, but I wasn't doing enough. And I cut out all the junk from my diet. So two really simple changes that have made a huge difference in my life. Um, so I almost just want to like shout it from the rooftops because I'm just so excited about what this program has done for my life. And I know that if I can do it, I'm a busy mom, I'm a wife, um, I work part time, and if I can do it, I know that you can do it too. And so I'm just really excited about where I am and where I'm going, and I'm just really looking forward to helping as many people as possible reach their fitness goals. Um, because with a little bit of work and a lot of dedication, I really believe that anybody can do what I've done.